Hi, so I'm Ben Westridge here at the Warrior Fitness Center again with Tyler Cutsford. We are going to kind of go over some mount escapes and kind of how we attack from there. Get back, regain the initiative. And first we're just starting with, good position with my elbows, head off the mat, hands in, controlling the inside space here the best I can. And my partner's gonna have his weight down. A lot of times people think their weight has to be down to control you. Maybe they're gripping on you, so on and so forth, so it's kind of a good simulation. My hands are gonna come from controlling the inside space here, maybe blocking punches or chokes. And they come to his hips, which become a nice frame for me due to his structure of his body. And I'm gonna push his hips down almost like I'm doing a decline bench while I bridge. And what's gonna happen is that my hips are gonna help push his body kind of somewhat ballistically. And then once I get my arms locked out, I'm gonna dip back underneath my hands and shrimp back in. Now if I do it all as one motion, I should end up in butterfly. Now, the next thing that'll sometimes happen is, maybe I'm trying to do that, but he grapevines my legs. And so now, look a little tighter. If he's grapevining, I might not be able to do that as well. And so I'll clear one of the grapevines and get it free. Now, I come underneath the foot and I'm trapping it with my legs. Okay, so when I trap it here with my feet, I can squeeze my knees, and now it's hard for him to pull his leg back out. So pull back up. Okay. So I bring my knee back to center line. That makes his knee point out a little bit. And I'm going to do kind of the exact same thing. But now instead of bridging, I'm going to continue to push, and I'm going to slide his hips up, kind of like similar to how I do a whip up from half guard, and I'm going to bring my knees up towards my chest, elevating his body, and bringing my knees through the bottom. Super simple. Come back to butterfly, for example, and come back down. There's a few other options we can do from there, but bring it back down. Another easy escape here is I can, if he's attacking at my collars, maybe he's trying to choke me, he's trying to post on me, whatever, is I keep my elbows in still, right? I never want to get my arms across my body. I don't want to lift him up to attack. So I keep my elbows almost in the same position, and I trap over his wrist. I can grab his gi too, and I attack at the elbow. It's very important that when I do attack at the elbow, that I'm slightly above the elbow. That way when he tries to bend his arm and pull it out, it gets trapped in my thumb grip here. I trap his foot. I'm going to bridge to break his balance, bring him closer to the mat, and that way when I turn, we turn together. I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but I want you to bridge. That way you can really break their balance, and that's going to help you turn. Otherwise, he can lean to defend kind of easily. And then the next option that we were showing is I go to trap his foot, he posts his leg out. When that happens, I keep my elbow in the same basic position, but my frame follows along his knee, and I use that to shrimp and stop him from following me. I can even push his knee a little bit with my elbow to create the right space, and I bring my knee out. Once my knee's out, I shrimp and I push my knee up and my foot off on the mat, forcing him away from me or me out. Kind of a little bit of both. I trap, control, shrimp, and I start to go. The problem is that right here is where a lot of people try to get their leg out, and it's going to get stuck due to the bending of my knee here, and I'm not able to really windshield wiper into a good position. So what happens is as my opponent controls that space, I hip out the entire distance, I pull out, and I re-attack. All right? So now I come back to full guard. I can leave that leg in there if I want to attack from the butterfly, but for sake of argument, I want to show you to get all the way back to full guard. And then another option we kind of have from there is, that we didn't show earlier, is the leg drape or leg drag. And that's a little more difficult, but if I know this concept, it's really useful because I can do this from a lot of different positions. So what I do is I shrimp enough to get one dead leg on the mat, right? So it's flat on the mat, and it's able to start attacking. And I scissor my hips a little bit, and I reach over, and I come underneath the arch of his foot. This may take a little bit of doing. I pull it up, and I re-scissor underneath. My knee transfers over to trap, and I grab. And now I'm going to use this as like a lever as I rotate my hips to escape. And I'm using that to shrimp back. Something to consider, though, real quick, is a lot of these grips can be done, a lot of these attacks and grips can be done from a lot of different places. Sometimes my opponent will wrap his arm around my head. And in this position, it's the same as trapping his arm, right? I have it trapped. I can look up, control the bicep, push on the hip, and go, right? Sometimes my partner won't grab onto me. He won't try anything. So I can turn to my side and start my shrimping, and now maybe my partner will try to cross face me back flat to the mat. I hook the arm, now I start to go, right? But even from here, I go to trap his leg, and I go to roll him and he posts his leg out. And now I start shrimping. And so the idea for mount escapes for us is basically to continue attacking in such a manner that I'm switching between my attacks constantly and that I'm comfortable with any further ways that he's going to try to defend himself, right? Nobody's going to stay static on top. They're going to try to attack the arm bars. They're going to try to attack, reflatten you back out. And so as long as I keep my hips moving and I keep switching my attacks between, bridging them up, bridging them over, and then shrimping out, it's hard for them to defend all those angles at once, right?